Well, that's the problem with, I think, that would happen. I think people would be coupled up really soon.
Yeah.
And I don't think we would necessarily have the same outlook. And I say that, but I know for me that if we have no title, I'm dating. I don't care if we're coupling in bed. If I am not your woman,
Yeah.
I am going to speak to Daniel. I'm going to speak to Michael.
Yeah, but
because
we
I
had
need to
this
see.
conversation.
I need to see like who's got the same values as me, who's on this, who has this, who's on this, and who I'm most aligned with. And if I'm feeling like it's this person, and I'm talking to you, and you're still chatting to Michelle and Daniela, I'm not committing to this situation. I will jump quick time.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever it is. Wherever you are, welcome back to the Couple School podcast. I'm not sure what episode this is, I've lost track, but never mind, 20-something. You know, 20-something. That's what you like to say when you're 20, isn't it?
Yeah,
20-something.
20-something.
Yeah, it's like a trending topic. I'm joined as always by the lady of self-love herself, Charmaine Norrie.
Hi guys, how you doing? Today's topic?
Is traditional versus modern relationships. This might be a bit triggering for myself mainly. I don't understand you modern rules and all the new topics and labels that people put on things. Anyway, so we haven't got a writing this week, but we do have a prerequisite statement for it. So Love Island have announced that there will be a show for 40 plus. What are your opinions on that? As you both said, there's a difference in between traditional values and modern values. Do you think that you will see this on the show, and will it be entertaining?
Love Island over 40s will be the most entertaining that Love Island's ever had. Because it will really actually, I think it will actually really display some difference. I actually think you'll see real relationships come out.
I think they're going to need extra security. I think they're going to need extra security. I think the family members of those that are involved in the show are going to need counselling. See, the reason why I say that is because 40-year-olds don't care about any of the things that 20-plus-year-olds do. Because they've grown past that and they've learned, they've got enough miles in the tank to know that actually these things, like little things, don't matter. So there'll be a lot more of cut to the chase, which means that there's a lot more to lose. You know, think about myself, put myself, because I'm actually 40 plus, unfortunately, but put myself in that situation. Like, friends of mine, we've had this conversation, and we're like, right, cool. So you're on Love Island, and you're with your partner, so me and Karen sitting and chilling by the sunlight.
You can't
You
use
can imagine.
Karen though. You can't use Karen.
Why not?
Because you're emotionally invested
So,
in Karen.
so.
And on Love Island, you wouldn't be emotionally invested. So when you think
Yeah, but
about
the rules would be the same. Alright, let's put it this way. If I rewind myself back to single me, you'd either get one of two versions. A single me that doesn't care and isn't attached to anyone and really doesn't care what anybody thinks about what he's doing is the X-rated version. Then you've got the other version that does get attached to someone and has a black. Because I think about Karen, I started, we had a very explicit conversation to start. This is what I want, this is what I don't want, this is what I'm about, this is where I'm going.
Yeah.
Does that connect with you? Yes, because this is what I'm on, this is what I'm about, this is where I'm going, and this is where I'm going. Cool. That's us.
I think that's
That
what
was-
40-year-olds do though.
Yeah, that was done in a conversation. So then after that, so
That's
you
it.
picture it. So let's say for argument's sake, day one, I'm in the villa by myself, this and that, I'm doing whatever I'm doing. Day 7, they introduce the bombshell, new person, Karen comes in. I then spot her, we have a sitting down conversation because I quite like the way her hair curls and all the rest of it, and the way she walks, because she's got this walk that does this. So, and then we're talking and we have that conversation. After that, there is no, I don't know what levels you young people call it, exclusive, not seeing each other, we're slightly dating. For me, we're together, that's it. So I'm now sat with my chosen person on the sun loungers, and Johnny, I think I'm too big for my boots, comes over, nudges me and goes, "Yeah, I'm just gonna call Karen for a chat. Chat about what? Where? And who? Bro, like what? Sorry? You're gonna do what? No. We've got beef. What are you talking to her for? Shut your mouth and move yourself on. I'll talk to someone else's chick, not this one. That one belongs to me. She's mine."
Well, that's the problem with, I think, that would happen. I think people would be coupled up really soon.
Yeah.
And I don't think we would necessarily have the same outlook. And I say that, but I know for me that if we have no title, I'm dating. I don't care if we're coupling in bed. If I am not your woman,
Yeah.
I am going to speak to Daniel. I'm going to speak to Michael.
Yeah, but
because
we
I
had
need to
this
see.
Alright.
I need to see like who's got the same values as me, who's on this, who has this, who's on this, and who I'm most aligned with. And if I'm feeling like it's this person, and I'm talking to you, and you're still chatting to Michelle and Daniela, I'm not committing to this situation. I will jump quick time. But this is what I'm saying. Like, but then I think if I come from, I'm also 42. So I come from, are you even 42? Yeah, you're not, are you?
Not 42, yeah, I'm 41.
I'm 42. And I am come from the standpoint of, you need to make me your woman. I don't make you my man. You make me your woman. I'm here. This is my values. This is what I put out there. And you decide, this is the woman. I'm just come from that traditional
Yeah, but it's the same. Yeah, but
thing. And if you don't do that, then I'm available.
Yeah, but what you're saying is the same thing for me. Like, as a guy walking in there, like, if I bump into it, like, we're gonna have that conversation. It's not, I'm not gonna have this ambiguous, like, oh, we could be doing this, we could be doing that. I'm not doing that. I like the look of you, so let's have a talk. And I'm like, cool. What are you about? Where do you want to go?
Yeah.
What is it you're about? What do you do on the outside? Where do you live? Because logistics plays a part. Like, I'm not trying to date anyone that lives in New Zealand. So okay, cool. So that all works. And they're like, okay, fine. So let's do this thing. From when we've had that conversation, you ain't seeing Harry this. It's problems for Harry this one and this one if we've agreed. Okay, like cool, we're doing this.
Yeah.
No. And the thing is, also, I'm expecting you to act accordingly. None of this that pulling people for chat. Pulling people for chat about what? Nah.
No, that's how I feel. I feel like if I was there and by day 7 you've made your feelings clear, like, okay, let's just do this. Because I'm of the standpoint of, I don't need all these options in it. If I've chosen you, it doesn't matter how hot some next person is. If I've chosen that you're my person in it. I can look at Harry and be like, Harry looks hot in it, but I'm not with Harry, that's not my person. So I can appreciate someone's attractiveness, but if I've chosen this person, that's who I'm coupled up with. So if I couple up with you and I say, right, boom, 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 we're not recoupling. We're not recoupling with no one. Janice is not going to talk to you. And when Janice talks to you, I expect you to tell Janice that, no, me and Charmaine are solid. That's what I expect to hear.
Right. I think maybe we should do it. Anyway, this is silent. I think this Love Island, if they do the 40 plus one, I think they need high security because it's going to be a lot more beef. It's going to be a lot more volatile, and I think you'll find a lot more cutthroat because I think people above the age of 40 have already realised. If they haven't realised who they are by that point, they've got enough road miles on there to go to know what they stand for. No, so there'll be some on there that are still playing about and what have you, but I think there'll be a lot of I like you like me, we've got the same kind of things, cool, that's us.
The conversations are different as well,
And I think the danger comes about when you've got these new people that come in. I suppose that's why they're doing it, they want it for entertainment benefits.
Well, it could be, it just depends who they put in there though, isn't it? It depends who they put in there.
If the
Because there is 40-year-olds that have more of a modern dating experience, and so if that's the case, the modern dating experience is very much Love Island, like you date multiple people, like we've spoken about before on the other podcast.
I don't think it works, man.
But it's just the way of the world now, and that's the thing, there's just options. What they're doing is saying, let's test your relationship, let's test
why would you want to test? Anyway.
But that's the name of the game. The game is to see whether or not you. But I don't think that would be the name of the game for 40-year-olds. 40-year-olds ain't got time for that.
Yeah, but you know what's going to happen? They're going to find the 40-year-olds that wish they were still 20 and throw them in there.
Yeah, but I mean, come on, and like what we were saying earlier, I don't know any 40-year-olds gonna be like, I got a text.
No, I can't.
Like, go and you gotta do it.
I can't even do it. I can't.
I got a text, guys. Oh my god, we're gonna go and do our makeup today. I don't know any 40-year-olds that will get that excited about having drinks in the evening
With the same people you've been
with the
living
same
with for
people
7 weeks.
that you get dressed up.
I've spoken to Karen about it.
I don't think it can happen.
We watched Love Island, and I look at him like, how are you excited about going to have drinks
With no music,
with no music and
The
the
same
same people
in the same
that
environment.
you chilled with in the afternoon and the morning, and they're just dressed differently. Now, don't get me wrong, the girls are absolute transformers. I will say that. I don't recognise some of them without their makeup on, and that's. I know it might sound bad, but I don't. I look at McCarran and say, fill me in as who that person is. I'm like, who's that? Is it a new person? And she said, no, they're just taking their makeup off. I'm like, wow, there's such a difference. So I get that, but will it be entertaining? I suppose it depends on your selection criteria, and it goes back to my age-old thing when it comes to these reality TV shows. I wish someone would have the guts to just actually create a fly in the wall kind of reality TV show instead of trying to create stuff that messes people up or messes with people. Just do what Big Brother intended to do in the first place, which was an experiment. Just throw 8 individuals into a house and see what happens, rather than throwing stuff at them that a lot of them aren't psychologically capable to deal with. You know,
I think it will be entertaining. I just think they have to change the concept slightly. Like in Love Island being an island and you have singles in there, but I think things like the games as well would have to be different. You know, it'd have to be something like see who could make the most money for their mortgage or something like that. It have to be some kind of other fun game which relates to the lives of 40-year-olds.
I suppose it depends on I think it depends on the caliber of 40-year-olds that you get in there.
Do you think?
Yeah, because I think some of them, I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted by a man dancing around outside the shop. I don't know what he's on, but I think if you get grown people, and what I consider to be grown people on there, the show dynamic would have to change because they just simply won't do what these young guys do. Like, they're not going to shout, I got a text. I can't bring myself to mimic it. Like, they're just not going to do it, you know. And they're not going to tolerate another guy coming in to come and talk to the girl that they've decided to be with. And equally so, the girl that they're with, or woman that they're with, sorry, isn't going to tolerate some other guy just coming in because it's the T's and C's of the show. People will be like, no, you know. So I think they're going to have to select the people that aren't as fixed, focused, or stable. And if you get those individuals, I think, it might take that entertainment box.
I think it can be entertaining, but I think that they have to change it. I don't think they can put in a whole lot of 40-year-olds that are like, I mean, I consider myself to be young, acting, fun, adventurous.
I'm not 42.
You know.
I'm older than everyone on the show.
Whatever.
Andrew's 41.
42, could be 43 in February.
Yeah, and Karen's 42, she's older than me.
Oh, look at you, baby.
She's a great listener.
Baby.
Cougar.
But yeah, I don't know. I think it will be entertaining. I think that it could definitely be entertaining. I would love to watch it.
It's never everyone's going to watch it.
I would love to watch it. I would also like to see real women as well, women with booties, that's actually got a bit of stretch marks, you're not wearing necessarily a weave or wig. I want to see someone with braids, I just want to see something just a bit more real, real experiences. A lot of these people that are in there at the moment, they're already big time influencers. They've all had thousands of
the show thrives on it. That's how it gets its
No,
popularity.
you just get people that are not there yet, so that you can actually make them have those experiences.
They're gonna find 40-year-olds that have got followed. Having a following on Instagram is almost as needed as having a CV now. That's what they're gonna go for. So they're gonna choose 40-year-olds that are influencers in that field.
Well, then that's where you're going to have those people that are all going to be okay with the whole.
Yeah.
I've got a text and multiple dating and so forth. And then again, it's not going to be.
Yeah, but I think
it'll still be entertaining.
I think you're gonna get a mix. You're gonna have a mixed bag. There's some of them that are able to do that. I've got to text stuff, and then you're gonna get some people just like, no.
I can't imagine having to go, oh, you know, it's time for us to go. Guys, we're going to go out for the evening, blah, blah. Like, you know, we're going to have a bit of a party just for drinks. I'm going to go upstairs and get ready for 2 hours to go downstairs that I just came from for drinks.
Where I just came from. For me, that's the bit, because you're not actually going anywhere. You're going downstairs.
Like, I'm just going to go downstairs
where you
in my
were
tracksuit.
in 25 minutes ago. Or an hour ago.
But then I watched a behind the scenes thing where they get vouchers from like one of these brands, they £1,000 vouchers to buy the outfits. So they can £1,000 vouchers from whichever brand. So like I think one year it was like I Saw You First, another year was Pretty Little Thing, and you get to spend £1,000 on that brand. So all the clothes they're wearing is from the brand that sponsored them. So it's not all their clothes. Have you seen them stocking stuff before? They stock stuff as well. Have you not seen them go, do you want to wear this?
I don't pay attention to it.
So it's not actually, they've actually...
I'll tell you what, the bits of Love Island that I pay attention to are when someone kicks off, I pay attention to that. When someone's in the doghouse, that entertains me no end. When people start crying, like I tend to switch on for that bit because I'm like, why and what happened? And the makeup scenes when they're deconstructing themselves, I'm like, I look at, and I'm not being funny, I look at the state of the wipe that they've got, and I like, not saying like, I watched a bit in between, because it's a bit like, for guys, you'll understand this when you go into the barbers and you go to get a fade, and the guy goes all the way around your head, the first bit, and then you look at it and think, it's just a step, and then he's got to fade it in. Like, there's a bit when the girls getting the makeup on or off, when they're halfway in transformation, that entertains me, I don't know why.
But you know that doesn't entertain the younger guys, because they're like there watching them take it off, the eyelashes are all over the face. Also, that's another thing I can't take as a 40-year-old, the mess of that girl's face.
Yeah, but it's not that, but that's not how a grown woman gets ready.
That's what I'm saying.
And
so
for a start, actually, and now you're touching on something, which is why I find it entertaining, because I've never seen it. Like, I mean, Karen, she's got minimal makeup, so even her getting her makeup in the car, she hasn't got the transformation kit that these girls have got, where it's like they've got their self-esteem in a bag. Like, I find it fascinating. I do find it fascinating.
I think it will be. What do you think though of like the statement was saying about how we have different views on traditional dating and modern dating? I think we've covered it quite a lot about.
We've covered it in previous ones. I mean, traditional dating versus modern, or traditional versus modern relationships. I think when we actually get into a relationship, I don't think it's changed at all. I think the term relationship, when you actually get to the stage of relationship, is the same. Yeah. I think the work that you've got to do when you get to a relationship is dictated by what your version of dating is. Yeah. Heavily. So when your dating is like a modern day dating, you've broken things down into stages and phases that overlap each other. Some of them, to me, don't make any sense. I don't understand what the differences between we're exclusive to we're boyfriend and girlfriend. I don't understand the difference between the two of it. It just seems like a stage that's been put in there to, I don't know what. Anyway, I don't get that bit. Someone feel free to enlighten me, and maybe we can have a conversation offline, and you can teach no dog.
We had that, and we still didn't get it. So
it makes no sense to me. I think when you take a look at traditional dating is set as a phase in preparation for dating. So all of the things that are involved in dating are discussed, reasoned with, and practiced, and then you go into dating. What I understand from modern day dating is that it's almost like a separate bit, and then you go into a relationship and then have to deal with all the real life stuff.
Yeah. So when I was dating, I was multiple dating because I wasn't sure I wanted to be in a relationship. So I was dating just to get the experience of dating because I was in a relationship for a long time. So I was dating for the experience of dating, which was fun at first, and it was like, I'm ready for something intentional. And so I changed the title of it when I went on dates to say I'm intentionally dating to be in a relationship. And
is that what you have to do?
that is literally what I had to do. I had to, because I felt that basically when I was dating, I didn't have to say I'm dating for fun. It was just an assumption that I'm dating for fun. That it was just
really?
like, yeah, it was an assumption that you're just dating, having a good time, maybe sleep together, maybe not. If you do sleep together, it still doesn't mean anything. It just means that you're just having fun with each other. Like literally, that was it.
That's nice.
But when I decided actually that's kind of not taking, I'm not wanting to do that, I wanted to have to be in a relationship. I had to actually say when I'm talking to the person, I'm intentionally dating to be in a relationship. Like, are you ready for that? That was the conversation that I had to have. And so, yeah.
It's like the prerequisites changed, doesn't it? Because back in the day, that was a given.
Yeah.
Like the assumption was that getting into a real relationship was the destination, unless it was described as otherwise.
Yeah.
So what you had to do back in the day was to say, right, well, no, I'm not looking to get into a relationship. I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm just here.
Yeah.
Whereas now, by the sounds of things, what you could say is, I am looking for a relationship. I'm not just here. That's mad, I suppose. But I suppose different strokes, different folks.
I just think, so I feel like we're being forced into this modern day dating because that's just that's where it's turned to now. But
do you think that most people still want to end up in a relationship?
Yeah, I do.
So if that's the case, then isn't the new way of doing things counterintuitive?
It is, but people don't see it that way because there's so much option. There was so much options. There was so many ways to meet people. There's so many people, you know, I mean, there was a time when sleeping with the guy on the first date was not a thing to do. Like you did that secretly.
You had skills.
like it was not a thing to do. Now it's like, okay, you can meet someone, have a good time, sleep with them, then not hear from them. 2 weeks later, they're calling you again. Oh, you want to hang out? And that is a normal relationship. There's loads of women that are like, I don't want to settle down, but I just want to have a bit of fun, and I still want to feel like sexy, whatever. And they have those types of relationships. I think the issue we have now is that there's so many different types of relationships, and nobody necessarily, everyone wants to be in a relationship, but they do this thing where they say, I need to try and get to know the person, I need to know if this person's this, I need to know if that person's that, and I need to know blah, 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 blah. And it's like, you know, I need to see the person angry, sad, going through this, going through that before I commit to them, and I need to know if this is the right person. But you don't know if it's the right person if you're always looking at everything else that's on the shop floor. So how can you really focus on that one person? It's like, people will be like, oh yeah, but he does this, he does that, yeah, so he's not the right person for me. But actually, says who? Like, says who? Like, it's like we're so critical of other people's, I don't even want to say flaws, but other people's things, let's say flaws, challenges, right? But when it comes to us, we don't give ourselves that same critique, but we're quick to critique something so small on somebody else. No, they didn't communicate really well. They kept that from me. He's known you for 2 weeks. He does not need to share his entire life with you after 2 weeks, and then you shut him off because David down the road showed you all his traumas from the first date. Like, it's like, that doesn't mean David's right for you. That just means that that's how David communicates. I think there's too much choice, Andrew. Like, seriously, like, there's choice from everywhere. Every single app you can meet somebody on. Every single app you can date from. It's ridiculous. That's why no one sticks, because they're like, okay, she seems really nice. Oh, but she's really nice. But she's really nice. Oh, but she does this. But she's really good at that. Or he's good at it. Like, there's so much choice. No one focuses on that one person.
I think the bit that gets me is, but I think that with all these levels of choice that people have, they forget that you actually are required to choose.
Yeah.
You have to choose someone at the end of the day, and when you get into a relationship with someone, it's not that someone else is better or the situation is better. That this is where you've chosen. This is where you live.
Yeah.
This is where it's at. So now the two of you, like, there's no ready packed relationships. This is why I disagree with the terminology of the one. No, there's one person out there for everyone. No, there's not. There's one person out there for whatever mood or stage or phase of life that you're in. You know, and how long the two of you stay connected is dictated by how much and how well you communicate, and whether or not the two of you are willing to grow together.
Agreed.
Because where your relationship is now is not where it's going to be in 10 years time. It's not where it's going to be in 15, 20 years time if you're lucky to get to that point. So I think when people are dating, just by what you're stating here, it sounds like people are looking for this fictitious needle in the haystack, this perfect person that we're going to have the perfect relationship and everything's going to be perfect. But if you're searching for perfection inside of imperfection, you're only going to be disappointed.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, remember I was saying to you a few podcasts before, like when my relationship was very public, it was like, oh my God, so amazing, you guys are fantastic, it's a couple of goals, I can't wait to find that type of love. And I'm just like, do you know the work that goes into getting to, if I told you some of the stories, or he told some of his people the stories, they'd be like, why didn't you drop that girl? Or why didn't you drop that guy? Because there's the work they need to put into it. They don't see it. You have to literally see that there is so much work to do in order to get to a place where you can be open, be transparent, be communicative. It's not an easy ride, no matter who you're with. You could be the best communicator, but if that person doesn't understand you, doesn't have the comprehension to understand what you're talking about or going through or experiencing,
but that's
it's the journey.
But everything, the thing about relationships is you're purchasing for the future but dealing with right now. So you're getting into the relationship for the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years, but you're always dealing with the effects of right now and needs of right now. So you and this other person might get on like a house on fire when you're 25. Then one of you changes in between 25 and 27, and 27 and 2, we don't connect anymore. So the two of you got to work together to recreate that connection, to get it back together again, so you exist the next 2 to 4 years, and so on. Like, there are no really packed relationships. I say this to people all the time. Like, you're not, like, the concept that people have of going, I'm going to find this one person. They genuinely believe, Disney, that, like, you're going to find this one person, they're going to be perfect and together forever. Like, the perfect bit is momentary. The decision is forever. But with the decision comes the consequences of creating forever. That means working through the disagreements, working through the hard times, working through the points where you don't feel yourself or they don't feel themselves, or you know, you've gone through depression and you add children in there, and then there's all the bits and pieces that go together with that, and you need to move areas or whatever it needs to be. Like, forever is a decision, it's not a destination. You're deciding to be together forever. And when you decide that, you have to understand you accept the good times, great, but you accept the circumstances that come with that as well. And the growth points that come with that, and also the growing pains that come with that too. You know, when we talk about relationships, and the whole point of couple school really is to get people to understand that, like, when you get together with someone, you're choosing this person for life. You're not going to be the same person you are now in 10 years time. They're not going to be the same person they are in 10 years time. Which means you've got 10 years worth of growth that you're also accepting to take on board at the point when you choose your person.
Agreed.
So, anyway, on that deep note, I'm going to say that and slide off to the side and just say,
we'll look forward to watching Love Island over 40s next year.
Yeah, we're going to nominate Charmaine and a few other select viewers of the couple school to take involved. We're going to push Jeff in there as well. Just find out one. Two of you can go in as pre-release couple. We'll see what happens. Anyway, that's us out for this week. Thank you so much for watching,
Thank you,
subscribing,
guys.
pushing the bell, wherever it is.
Yeah,
I'm looking up like it's there, but it's down below me.
it's down below.
Yeah, the subscribe button. If I look at the screen, subscribe button's down here somewhere underneath Charmaine. But anyway, we're having an absolute blast recording these. Thank you so much for supporting, for subscribing, for tuning in every week, and for voicing your opinions on Couple School After School.
Yeah,
It's my
every
guilty-
Tuesday,
it's my
8:30.
Guilty
we
pleasure.
discuss
Every
it.
Tuesday, 8:30.
And don't forget to join us live if you want to
Yeah.
as well. We enjoy having you.
Please do. If whether the subject resonates with you or not, if you've got a story to tell alongside it or not, we'd love to hear it. There's no judgment here, it's only growth. Anyway, that's us out for this week. You take care, stay strong, stay focused.
Bye, guys.
Peace.